Welcome to Face to Face. I'm your host, Kelly McIntyre, and right now I'm face to face with Jennifer Smith, running in Ward 2. Welcome to the program.
Oh, thank you.
And first off the bat, we'll ask you, why are you running?
Well, there's a lot of problems going on in Ward 2 right now. We're starting to see the effects of the rapid development in town affecting the older part of town. So we're seeing facilities like the library, parks, all these things are starting to move out into the periphery, and the ward is really getting left behind. There was an issue last night at the committee meeting about bike lanes. They were planning bike lanes for all over town and not a single one in Ward 2. Mm-hmm. This is the kind of thing that we're facing, and a lot of the people here are feeling that they're getting left out. So I wanted to speak for them and start actually doing something instead of just talking about it.
And Jennifer, what key strengths are you going to be bringing to the election table and into to Ward 2?
Principally ideas. Mm-hmm. I'm never been afraid to speak my mind, mm-hmm. and yeah, I've got a lot of good ideas in terms of just creative solutions for problems. I'm also very good at working with other people and reaching consensus between different points of view. And also I've been a small business owner for most of my life, so I've got a bit of that financial background there. I'm very good at squeezing the value out of every dollar that I spend, so yeah.
Great. Well, we're going to leave it at that for just a moment. I'm face to face with Jennifer Smith, running in Ward 2. We'll be back in just a moment. Welcome back to Face to Face. I'm Kelly McIntyre, and I'm face to face with Jennifer Smith, running in Ward 2. Now, Jennifer, there's a lot of people. This is a big ward this year. If you had your running mates in front of you from Ward 2 right now, what question would you ask them?
Well, I would ask them what they've been doing for the last 3 or 4 years. Mm-hmm. A lot of people go out during an election year and they knock on doors and they talk to all kinds of people. And then after they're elected, you never see them again. I haven't seen any of my opponents over the last 4 years. So yeah, I plan to do that a little bit differently. I'm a lot more connected, certainly on the internet, than any of them. I've had a website and a blog for many years. And so, I'm happy to communicate with my constituents through email, through my website, through Twitter, through Facebook, and going and knocking on their doors on a regular basis.
So Jennifer, how important then to you is accessibility and being not only out there for as a candidate, but if you're voted into Ward 2, and accountability?
It's vital. It's vital. I mean, like I said, most people never see their councillors in between elections, and I plan to change that. I'm actually planning to start regular roundtable discussions with people from all over the ward. Mm-hmm. Every street, every neighborhood. I want to hear what their concerns are. I want to hear what issues are coming up, before they become a problem, mm-hmm. and then work together with them to find creative solutions and bring them up before council.
What would be something that you are your proudest accomplishment in business or even personal to date?
Well, I mean, actually last night would have been one of my proudest accomplishments. Mm-hmm. I've done a number of things mm-hmm. within the community. There was an issue about 5 years ago where they were trying to raise the speed limit on Commercial mm-hmm. Street right in front of my house, mm-hmm. And I was actually contacted by our former councillor Mark Curtis about that, and because I'd written a letter to the editor. I write a lot of letters to the editor, and that letter inspired a young neighbor girl to write a petition, and
that domino effect.
Yeah, and I was called to be a delegate before council, and I spoke to them about it and spoke to the number of schools that are on that street and the problem with speeding and the number of accidents mm-hmm. that have happened there, and they changed their decision. They kept the speed limit higher. So that was definitely a proud moment. And yeah, last night as I said, they were talking about having bike lanes, which are not only good for cyclists, but they also act as a traffic calming measure because they visually narrow the road, and so people just naturally slow down, which is great on big wide roads like Commercial, like Laurier, like Martin Street, but they were planning these everywhere except for this ward, and all these bike lanes suddenly came to a dead stop at Ontario Street, which made no sense. So I got up there and I spoke, and Wendy Shao brought forward a motion based on my recommendations, and now those streets are now part of the bike lane plan. So I was very proud of that.
Definitely, those would be two ticks. Well, we're going to stop for just a moment. I'm with Jennifer Smith, running in Ward 2. We'll be back with more Face to Face. I'm Kelly McIntyre, only on Milton Today TV. Welcome back to Face to Face. I'm your host, Kelly McIntyre, and I'm face to face with Jennifer Smith, running in Ward 2. And I've got to ask you, if communities are like people with different personalities, what is the personality, or could be the personality, of Milton versus other cities?
Well, if anything, I think Milton's starting to suffer from multiple personality disorder right now. It's true. I mean, we've been through so many changes, and we've had so many new kinds of people coming into town. You know, it's always going to be a challenge integrating them into the life of the town. And I remember when the development started, it actually wasn't too bad. I mean, we'd have people coming into town from Hawthorne Village and the new areas for, the Fall Fair, for Steam Era, for all these wonderful events. And now, I mean, traffic has become such a challenge that it's discouraging people from doing that. But also, I think there's, we're getting a bit of a disconnect now between, and I hate the terms old and new Milton.
I was going to ask you, should we in fact be one?
No, we absolutely should be one. I mean, I actually prefer to refer to Central Milton, because this is the core of town, and we need to draw people here. We need to have a central location where we can get together, where we can meet each other, where we can have events together, and become one town. And the way things have been going, I mean, in a lot of the new areas, I mean, they're almost more oriented towards Mississauga or even Hamilton or Oakville than they are to the actual core of Milton. So that's something that I would really, really like to see change, is to have people more drawn into the life of the town, depending, regardless of how long they've lived here.
And Jennifer, if you're elected into Ward 2, what would be your top 3 accomplishments you'd like to see happen over the course of that 4 years?
I would like to see better communication between town council and town hall and the people of Milton. There's just far too many issues that come up where nobody finds out about it until it's already a done deal. I mean, the library is a perfect example of that. I didn't even know about the library until about 6 months ago. So that would be one. Technology is going to play a big role in that. 2, I would like to implement a comprehensive traffic calming policy for town. Other towns have this. Caledon has an excellent traffic calming policy, where it's not just a matter of, we need a stop sign. Well, you can't have a stop sign because it's not warranted, and that's the end of the discussion. There's a number of different traffic calming measures that can be taken, and if you lay out specific warrants and a hierarchy of different measures, you can get things like bike lanes, like chicanes, which are sort of bump outs in the road, traffic humps, not like bumps, but humps where it's fine if you go the speed limit. If you go over the speed limit, it's gonna hurt. Even things like planting trees closer to the road so that it visually narrows the road. There's all kinds of things that can be done, but there's no there's no set policy for when one thing is warranted versus another. So that would be number two. Those are my main
The top
specific.
things you probably hit the ground running with.
Yeah,
if you were elected.
you know, if nothing else, those are two things that I would very much like to accomplish in the first 4 years.
And Jennifer, tell us something that we don't know about you. And is there something about a YouTube if I had $1 billion?
Oh yes, yes. That was a bit of a lark that got out of hand. I follow politics on a federal level as well as on the local level, and I've been blogging about that for quite a while. So when this whole business of the fake lake and the G20 came up, the first thing that immediately came to mind was the Bare Naked Ladies song, if I had $1 million. So just, you know, coming home from work late at night, I just started writing and came up with my alternative lyrics for this song, posted it on my website, and people started saying, well, you should perform it. And I went, okay, why not? And I got my son who plays guitar, and I called my friend who's in a cappella group with me and said, let's do that. Went over to her place that afternoon, did it, got a call from the Toronto Star the next day, and they to interview me. The day after that, it was on the front page of the Star. The day after that, I've lost track of where the hits are now. I think it's like 60 or 70,000 views. But that was interesting. That one definitely touched a nerve with a lot of
maybe
people.
you'll write a song about Milton.
Well, this is it. Yes. Now I'm thinking, maybe I
song.
should. I should start doing a few more of those.
And the importance of connecting with the community. Like you mentioned, there's websites, blogs. Maybe tell everybody at home how they can connect, how they can find out more information about Jennifer Smith.
The main way would be to visit my website, which is www.jensmith.ca, Jen with one N. And through that you can find my email address, you can link to me on Facebook, you can link to me on Twitter, you can phone me, you can write me a letter, you can drop by my house, anything you like. I'm completely available. You can leave comments on any of the things that I've written about on my website. It's in a blog format, so it's constantly being updated. It's constantly having, dealing with recurring issues and things that are coming up. Anything anybody wants me to discuss on there, let me know and I'll write something up.
Or write a song.
Or write a song.
It was lovely to meet you, Jennifer
Yeah, it was lovely
Smith.
to meet you too.
And again, running for Ward 2, I'm Kelly McIntyre. This is Face to Face, only on Milton Today TV.